Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Take Two Podcast. My name is Brian. I'm your host here at Take Two Podcast, the Hollywood news, TV, movie reviews, and giving you my take two. This is episode 262. We're well into year 5, and things are going amazing. We have an amazing show for you guys today. We have 3 big reviews. We have Halloween Kills, The Premise, and the movies that made us season 3. Of course, Halloween Kills was in theaters. That's our big theater review. Of course, it was on Peacock as well. And then The Premise, talked about that a couple of weeks back. That series wrapped up, so I'm just going to give some final thoughts there. And then movies that made us, that entire season 3 dropped over the weekend, and I watched all of it. All of it. Crazy, right? So those are going to be our big reviews today. We, of course, have our poll results, the box office, some good numbers there. Interesting numbers we're going to chit-chat about a little bit later. A couple of trailers. There's actually a lot of trailers, but the main crux of trailers is going to be later on in the DC section. So DC had their big day, their big fandom. We're going to talk about that later on. You got to stick around to the third act of the show when we get to DC, because there's some thoughts we're going to be chatting about, some good, some bad, everything in between for DC. Marvel said, we still have stuff too. We dropped some news this week as well. So there will be a little bit of Marvel later on. We, of course, have some casting and regular Hollywood news as well. Thank you guys for joining us here at Take Two Podcast. And once again, episode 262. If you want more of the show, you can, of course, watch us on YouTube. You can see my smiling face and my shiny bald head right on the YouTubes. You're welcome to check that out. You get to see my fortress of solitude behind me as well. And we have all of our celebrity interviews and things like that. Any specialty shows, I like to put those on YouTube as well, so you can check out all that kind of fun stuff. Facebook, we have 2 pages there. Regular Facebook page, you can join that. And then there's the Facebook group page. That's called Take Two Universe. Add that, join that page, because that's more interactive. Join both. The group page, though, that's where you get to chit-chat amongst other fans. We put some fun topics up there, some silly stuff. What's your favorite Halloween candy? Like silly jokes, like topics like that, if you will. And more, talk a lot about movies and TV and fun things of that nature. Of course, you can also call or text. Leave a voicemail. I won't answer the phone, I promise. But leave a text or a voicemail to the show, 667-365-8253. That's 667-365-TAKE. 8253. Take Two Podcast. Put it in your phones right now, guys, and you can text or leave a voicemail at any time, day or night. I promise. And we will hear those voicemails, and I'll get right back to you on the text. Don't believe me? Ask Chris, loyal listener Chris. He hit up the text line and said, "Hey, are you watching American Rust? Because you should be. Jeff Daniels is a national treasure." And I'm going to get on that. This time of year is tough to get on something new to catch up on, because it's spooky season, so I like to rewatch all the Screams. I like to watch not all, but Halloweens, even some Jasons, what have you, some scary stuff. So it is the time of year where I'm not jumping into new things, because I like to rewatch some stuff. And yes, that does take up a lot of time. Just did a James Bond rewatch series. You're going to get a bonus episode on that coming up. Spoiler alert for the going forward later. So anyway, October's a rough month to jump into something new, but I've heard great things about American Rust. Chris, you're absolutely right from what I've been hearing. So I will get to that eventually, probably in November, because December, that's the same shtick. I'm rewatching Christmas movies that I've watched 10,000 times. We all do the exact same thing. So you divert your times accordingly, right? To what you want to watch when you want to watch it. But we're sticking with some new things for right now. Thank you guys again for jumping on. Again, 667-365-8253. Only other thing I'll ask for is a rating and review. I've been noticing the numbers. Everything has been looked great the last couple of weeks since our 5 years came off. Thank you so much, all the listeners. I wish I could come to each one of your homes and say thank you. Knock on the window. Maybe I should. Spooky season's here, right? If you just see my face outside the window, thank you for listening. That would be kind of creepy, and I'd probably lose you as a listener. Or some of you guys that like the horror stuff, maybe you'd be like, yes, this guy's a creepo. He knocked on my window, came to my house. Thanks for listening, guys. Rating and review would be great. 5-star quick rating review really helps out the show. All right, enough of the rambling on. Let's get things rocking and absolutely rolling. Start things off like we normally do with our box office results. Halloween Kills killed it at the box office. We're going to talk a little bit later in the review about this as to why I got those numbers. 3,700 theaters, $49 million. Want to compare that to last week's Bond, which barely made 55? Woo! It killed. If we're comparing. Now, I know, totally different genres, totally different everythings, okay? But that's pretty darn good. $49 million. Not bad at all, especially considering this also came out of streaming. You didn't have to leave your couch to watch this. You could have turned out all the lights in your home, made it super scary as you wanted at home, and sit there and watch the film on the Peacock. But enough people said, nope, I was one of them. I went. I really wanted to see this in theaters. Fun fact, I was supposed to play in a softball. I'm on a softball team, and I was supposed to play. I show up to the field Thursday night, and nobody's there. It's empty. So I text the coach, the guy that kind of runs our team, and he was like, "Oh, man, I sent out the emails, and I forgot you're not on that email thread. Other team canceled. We won by forfeit, but we don't have a game." Cool, man. Thanks. Fun story, just to let you guys in on. So I quickly, boop, 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 AMC Stubs. Oh, look, Halloween Kills. It's available. So I went and contributed my cash there because I was able to then see it that night, which was fantastic. Number 2, No Time to Die, $23.7 million. It's a shade under 100. It's at $99 million now domestically. 4,400 theaters they kept this thing in. Only 56% drop. That's not horrible. That's not horrible for how low it let off with last week. I was worried this thing was going to be in the teens. Now, granted, 23, just a shade over 24. It's close, but only a 56% drop. Normally, these films do get 60% drop, so that's standard. The movie's just not destined to make a lot of cash. I have serious thoughts on that later. We're going to do, I mentioned a whole James Bond breakdown specialty show a little bit later this week. So if you guys are into James Bond, if you're into specialty shows, stay tuned for that on your podcast feeds. I'm going to have a James Bond aficionado with me for that. And I have some thoughts as to why it's not making as much money, especially domestically. Number 3, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It stays in there. I don't know why. I'm from Boston when I say carnage for some odd reason there. $168 overall, $16 million it made this week. 4,000 theaters now, under the 4,000 theater count. 3,600 theaters is Addams Family 2, comes in at 4th place. $7 million for Addams Family 2. Third week of release, it's making $42 million. Good on you, man. Good on the animated films making this money, man. Paw Patrol made a bunch of cash. Now Addams Family 2, good for them. Number 5, Last Duel, $4.7 million. That's bad. It's legit bad. This was a over $100 million budget to make this movie. You have heavy hitters in this cast. I am desperate to see this film. It's getting phenomenal ratings, phenomenal reviews, I should say. Ratings and reviews, they got them. It just made no money. And I tell you what, thinking back, I've seen zero marketing. I see it because I'm in on this every day. I'm looking at things and loving all this. But the average Joe, the average moviegoer, and then the below average moviegoer, did you guys even know about this movie? Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Adam Driver. I mean, heavy hitters here. Jodie Comer, excuse me. I don't want to leave her out since she's the lead. Under $5 million. That's really bad. Here's the kicker, folks. You're going to hear this movie again, I think, award season anytime. From everything I've read, from everything I've heard, we're going to see this again. Acting performances and possibly the actual film itself. Runtime, probably a little bit of a factor. Same thing with No Time to Die. Runtime probably skewed some folks, but less than $5 million. That's a stinger. That hurts. Shang-Chi comes in 6th place, $3 million. It's at $217 now. We know that worldwide it's making a ton of cash. Congrats to them. New releaser Hans Lorach. I don't know this film at all, $700,000. 8th place, Free Guy with another $645. Lamb comes in with just over $500,000. And then Most Eligible Bachelor comes in 10th place, $470,000. The reason I mentioned that one, well, A, it came in 10th place, but B, 11th place is Candyman. Darn it. I really was hoping for a Candyman uptick. I really was. But it's still sitting at $60 million overall that's made. So good for him. I'm sure Universal's not mad at the money that Candyman's made. I just thought with Halloween coming, maybe we get a little boost. So there you go. Halloween Kills is your big winner for the weekend. $49 million. Good for them. I don't think that word of mouth is going to help this film going into its week 2, especially with you can see it on streaming. We will get into that with my review in just a few moments. But that's going to wrap up the box office for this week. Stay tuned next week because we will have a new number 1 at the box office next week. That is a very easy prediction for me to make, and it shall come true. We'll talk about that in going forward. Now, on to our poll results. Every single Thursday across all of the socials, I drop a poll for you folks to vote on, to comment on, to chit-chat about and discuss. I will say this is one of our most heavily discussed poll that we've put up here where people got into actual conversations in the comment section. Love it. Yes, that's awesome. Do that, folks. That's exactly why I understand usually only put 4 options up there because mainly that's all that Twitter allows you to put up. But I'm all about the comment below, guys. If you have other options you want to throw down there, bing, I'll do the math. I'll add it up. That's fine by me. I was actually very good at math back in school. So comment below, chit-chat below. That's fantastic. And that is what happened. Here was your question of the week. Akin to Halloween Kills coming out, I love slasher horrors. Slasher horrors are my go-to, bread and butter. Not the biggest fan of the demonic stuff, your paranormal activities, and no thanks, hard pass. But the slasher horrors, I'm all in. So I wanted to know, who's your favorite slasher? Was it Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Ghostface, or Michael Myers? I toyed with putting in Leatherface, but then I couldn't think of which of the four to drop off of there. I guess maybe Ghostface. I'm not sure. And then I asked the wife. I was like, "What do you think about putting Ghostface or Leatherface in?" And she said, "Who's that?" So that kind of answered it for me. And B, I need to now make her go watch that movie. So either way, those are the four options that were given. On Twitter, we had two ties. A tie for first and then a tie for third. Tie for first, Freddy and Jason tied at 29% each. Ghostface and Mike Myers tied at 21% each. And I will tell you this, folks, Ghostface made a last-minute push that I did not see coming for a while. Ghostface was sitting at like 6%, getting absolutely rocked and destroyed on this poll. Either way, so 29% were tied at Freddy and Jason up top. Now we go to the comment section. Here we go. Shoot the Flick says Jason. Two Peas in a Pod says the King. Michael Myers, that's their vote. Film Rage says Freddy. So look at this. We got a vote for each. Boom, boom, boom. Helena Lancaster says Freddy all the way. 100% Michael Myers scares the bejeebers out of me. She didn't actually say bejeebers, but good. But it's interesting that Michael Myers actually scares her in the real life, but she's down to vote for Freddy as the best slasher. That's very intriguing. Helena, hit me up. I'd like to dive deeper into that thought process. But either way, she voted for Freddy. So there's two for Freddy there. Invasion of the... Oh, no, I'm coming back to Invasion in a second. I hate your taste in movies, says Freddy. Because anyone could play Michael Myers or Jason. That's interesting to me. Now, Robert Englund playing Freddy should win awards, right? Probably has. But I mean, like actual awards that other casuals, not horror film awards. An interesting sentiment, though, for anybody could play those two, because I think that's the argument against Ghostface. We'll come back to that in a second. Instagram, Bart says Ghostface, the only one to comment on Ghostface. Good on you, Bart. And I know Bart is a humongous Scream guy. He is as big of a Scream fan as I am. And he says, because it's so many different people playing it. Spoiler, each film. Interesting. You have one person, one film goer who loves it for that reason. And then you have other film goers who would vote against it for that reason. Mike Myers is the same guy. I'm voting for Mike Myers as the same guy. Ghostface has been multiple people, so therefore it's not the same, so therefore it can't be my favorite. Very interesting thought process there. And then the fact that Bart votes for it for that reason. That's awesome. Love it. You know, art is subjective and across the board. Craig says Freddy. With that vote by Craig, that gives Freddy the edge, percentage-wise. So Freddy is your wiener. Today, I wanted to circle back to two people. One, Invasion of the Remake, said Art the Clown. Keep an eye on Art the Clown, because as those movies, these are from the Terrifier series, come along, Art the Clown will be in the ethos of best slashers to come around. So keep your eye out for Art the Clown there. And then Music Lover 555551 said DM us at Sky Records _ That's not a vote, but Music Lover 555551, robot that you are, I'll DM you. Maybe send me some pics, huh? Anyway, guys, that's the poll. Every Thursday we'll drop the poll. Fun stuff. Love it. Keep those comment belows coming. Vote away. Share it. Retweet. Send it to your friends. Say, hey, jump on here. Facebook community. Where were you? Absent. That's okay. That's fine. We'll come back around there. You know, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're going to do this week. I'll start sharing the poll also to the group page. So maybe the group pagers who do chat more than the regular page, you guys can maybe vote and comment below down there. Either way. All right, let's rock and roll. That's the poll. It comes out every Thursday. It's available until Sunday, so you get 3 full days of voting there. So you get plenty of time to share it and tell all of your friends. Done with the box office. We're done with the poll. Time to rock out our reviews. Halloween Kills. I sometimes forget that not only are we on YouTube, but we're also a podcast. And so when I make faces at the camera, the folks listening to the podcast don't see the faces that I'm making at said camera. You're not missing much, folks. I do have a face for radio, but this movie's not good. It's just not good. It's just not good. Here's the deal. This movie is a placeholder. We booked a trilogy. And when you book a trilogy, 1, 2, 3, the number 2 is in there. You have to have a 2. And that's what this is. You had to have a 2. I won't get into too many spoilers. I can see where they thought, well, this would be cool. That would be neat. Let's try this. Let's do something new. Okay. The brutality of Michael Myers in this might be top level. Like gouging a dude's eyes out to not only like kill him by sticking his thumbs into their eye sockets, but then keep pushing so that his brains start goozing out of the eye orifices. Like we went next level with some of the bloods and the guts and the gore, which is fine. Weird sentence to say, I feel like Michael Myers is above that. Like he just kills and that's it. Like we don't need to see the gory of it. Maybe I'm off on that. Here's the deal. This movie is about, Michael Myers survives the fire that was at the end of Halloween, the 2018 Halloween, where we thought we had him. He's not dead. He's alive. That's a theme here. He's not dead. He's alive. He can't be killed. This is a theme here. What can kill this guy? Nothing, right? Nothing. So now he's back. Now Tommy Doyle, Lindsay, whatever her last name is, all the people from back then, they have this little group that gets together on the anniversary and shares a drink because they have their own little Michael Myers support group, and they find out he's still alive. Let's get the mob going, baby. Let's attack him. Screw him. He's not going to scare us anymore. We'll take the fight to him. You know why? Evil dies tonight. Oh, Michael C. Hall, I feel so bad for you in this film because he wasn't given a lot to say or to do, and I think he honestly did his best with his performance. Yeah, I think he honestly did, and I can see where a lot of people are like, ugh, he was really bad there. I don't think he was really bad. I just think he did his best with what he was given to say. Did I say Michael C. Hall? I apologize. Anthony Michael Hall. Michael C. Hall, totally different dude. Anthony Michael Hall. He plays Tommy Doyle in this. So that's kind of the crux of the film. The mob now wants to go after Michael Myers. Laurie Strode, her family, the Strode girls, they're still, emotionally, distraught. What are we going to do here? What they're going to do is not be on a screen. They're just sitting in the hospital room the entire film. They're not doing anything. Judy Greer, Andy Matichak, like these girls are fantastic actresses and they're not doing anything in this movie. So it was kind of like, I don't care about these other characters. There was 3 characters early on where I was like, all right, the nurse and the doctor. I was like, okay, I can get behind them. But then once their fate is sealed, I was like, all right, bye. You're out. I realize now I did not care about you in any capacity. I just did not give a hoot. So I'm trying to give this movie the benefit of the doubt where it's just the number 2. It's getting me to the number 3. So should we even review this film? Because it's clearly the placeholder for the Halloween Ends, which we're getting shortly. So do we just wait till Halloween Ends come out? Is this like an Infinity War Endgame? Can I review the 2 together? No, you're not supposed to do that. But this one, I honestly feel that way. I honestly feel like, give me a sec. Let me watch the next one, see how it connects, and see how it all wraps. The way this ends, cool. I liked it. I thought they could have shot that a little bit better. I just felt they could have nuanced it and given a little final scare a little bit better for that final death. And I liked what they did there. I was like, okay, you got me for the next one. That's awesome. I like that you threw that little nuance. I did enjoy that very much so. You had a whole movie where Michael Myers and Laurie Strode didn't see each other, didn't talk to each other, didn't run from each other. Nothing, right? I will be honest. And someone help me out here. The patient, the nut house patient that escaped and that everybody was chasing for a while, and we see his fate or whatever. I don't know who the crap that was. I don't know why this guy is in the movie. And maybe I dozed off for half a second, which is the cardinal sin of not only filmmaking, but horror filmmaking, to get boring at a point. And once you get boring, especially horror films, it's hard to bring that back, right? Because once you've checked out, now it flips to cheesiness and you're just like, whatever. Maybe I missed like who that guy was. But either way, the movie's not great. I'm not going to bash it. Because I've heard some people just destroying it, because I think we need to just wait until the third one. That's the nicest thing I say. Let's see what David Gordon Green does, the director, with the third one and how we wrap. And I might say, okay, I see your arc. Second one, not a great movie, but in the pantheon of this trilogy, it fits. That's it. Some of the kills were really good. A couple of good jump scares wasn't expecting, like jumps out of the other room where I really was not expecting, and at this point you should expect it. So I appreciate some of the kills. They were good. I did enjoy a scene where he's picking out a knife and getting rid of ones that he doesn't want. I thought that was funny. That was good stuff. Gory, a lot of gore, good things in there. So moving on, Halloween Kills is meh at best. It's absolute meh at best. It has a couple of moments. It does get boring, which is bad, but it does lead you to a place going forward. I will say the whole mob mentality, the whole mob scene at the end with Mike Myers, I don't want to give stuff away, but the mob and Mike, they try and confront each other at one point, and I didn't enjoy that. I did not enjoy that because to me, it ruins some of the mythology of Michael Myers, right? Is this a human? Is it a whatever? Is it not human? Blank, blank, blank. That kind of tarnished that in my mythology of Mike Myers. And so I was bummed there. I'm not going to destroy it though, because I think let's wait and see what Halloween Ends gives us. And if it wraps, then you're like, all right, this was just, a 90-minute placeholder moving us along today, longer than 90 minutes. If you want to see it, guys, it's on Peacock. It's available. If you want to try and get yourself an extra scare, go and watch it in the theater. It's in the theater experience. Oh, that's another thing I want to say is the theater experience. We've kind of accepted as a society that when you're seeing a scary movie, especially a slasher style scary movie, that the being quiet and respectful in the theater kind of goes away, right? There's a line that you're kind of like, all right, this guy's yelling, screaming. Man, did I have a dude that was into this movie? No, like he was a sentence stumbler, I'll call him, where they can't finish a sentence, but you're yelling at the screen what to and not to do. And he was telling every single character, don't go up this stairs. No, get out of the way. It's like, buddy, calm down. Like he was very invested in the film. I bet you his review is 10 out of 10. I guarantee you it's 10 out of 10 because he was like in it, screaming at the theater. But it was like, buddy, this movie's not that great. Stop screaming at it. And he was. But it's funny that I think the horror society, when you're going to see a scary movie in the theater, you kind of suspend that disbelief a little bit, as long as it's walking a fine line. All right, Halloween Kills, wrapping that up. It's not great, but you know what, folks? I'm going to give it, let's see what happens going forward. Let's see what happens at Halloween Ends. And that's not a great way to review a film, but is what it is. I appreciate what they tried to do. I just didn't agree with what they wanted to do with the whole mob mentality, with the whole mental institution stuff, with the guy in the hospital. I don't know. I just didn't like it. But I credit them for trying something different. You've had 12 of these damn movies. You got to do something different. So I don't blame them for that. The Mask, woo, with the burn and everything. I just hit my mic. Sorry about that. The whole half-face burn, like kind of two-facey looking. Pretty badass. Made for a great poster at the very least. All right, moving along. Let me take a quick swig here. Who loves that? There, check that box. Check that bingo box. Brian takes sip of drink on air. That's got to be exciting. The Premise on FX and Hulu right now. 5 episodes dropped a couple of weeks ago and wrapped up this past week was the last one. And this is BJ Novak, wrote, directed a little of some of these major stars in each ep. Each ep, it's, one-off anthology style things. And it's just, they take a funny look at some of society's problems, some of things that are happening in society. Already talked about the episode where, a gentleman gets arrested by police and wrongfully arrested. And we find out that he can get acquitted of his crime of assaulting police officers because another gentleman was up in a hotel room, or his bedroom, videoing him having sex with a woman. And the video caught on camera what actually happened. It gets funny because the sex from Ben Platt, who plays the guy, is not great and it's cheesy. And so now this guy's life changes because of cheesy stuff like that. Now, granted, episode 2, John Bernthal, this is a gun control episode because there's a school shooting. And now this guy's dealing with mental issues about losing his child and gun control type issues. That was very serious. That was almost like an out of place episode, 100%. Then we follow that up with an episode about Lucas Hedges, is this celebrity Justin Bieber, if you will, type guy, comes back to his high school. He's big into education, though, and wants kids to read, especially the seniors. And he says, here's the deal. Whomever becomes valedictorian, you get to go to my show. You get front row seats, fly out to L.A., great prizes all across the board. And then at the end of the night, I'm going to bang you. We're going to hook up. We're going to have the intercourse. So then the episode is about, Caitlin Dever and other actors trying to become valedictorian. Then whomever wins valedictorian, do they actually hook up with Lucas Hedges? It was funny. It was a funny episode. The other ones, the butt plug episode was funny. It was one guy who is not down on his luck, but like he and the wife are trying to make ends meet. He's a businessman, comes across a very lucrative business venture that he could jump into and something he would succeed at. The guy that runs that other side of things is someone he used to bully as a kid. So now guy number one is like, oh, I don't know if I should jump into this because I used to bully this kid and I feel horrible about it. Like, I'm embarrassed that this is a part of my life. Like, he legit remorse for this. So he doesn't even want to approach the guy. He does. Then the guy says, all right, you have 1 year. You need to make me the greatest butt plug of all time. The greatest butt plug of all time. And so then the guy does. And then I'm not going to give it away what happens, but then he invests a year of his life into making the greatest butt plug of all time. But the kicker is they take it serious. Like, it's not a parody or anything to that nature. Like, this is a serious situation where this guy does it. That one was about the commenter episode with the lady that she chases down someone who comments on their page. As someone who has his own personals, but then also this show, social media, you get that. You're used to that. People make comments, especially if you're going to give your opinions out there, and people disagree or agree. This lady, it messes with her head. She can't handle it. Now she needs to find whom this commenter is and track them down and all that kind of stuff. And that is something that a lot of people very much so deal with. Can you handle people making comments that affect your life or disagree with you? Or this person's a troll. We all have trolls, that especially the show here. Take Two, you get trolls all the time. So how do you deal with that? It's very good. I very much so enjoyed this. These episodes are not long. They're on Hulu or FX. I highly recommend checking these out. The Social Justice Sex Tape, episode 1, really good. The Butt Plug one, really good. Those are probably the two strongest ones. The Ballad of Jesse Wheeler, that's the sex with a celebrity, whomever valedictorian. That's not bad. I will say the episode 2 is a very strong, good episode. That's the John Bernthal gun control app. It's just not, the other ones have a cheesy comedy, tongue-in-cheek kind of like snickering nature about them. That one does not. There's minimal comedy at best of that. That is a serious ep. But a worthy ep to watch, because Bernthal, Bernthal's fantastic. Please put him in every single film. He is so great. Really good. Probably the strongest ep, but it's a little out of place with the rest of these ones that are kind of cheesy. The Premise, it is on Hulu and FX right now. BJ Novak did a phenomenal job with these. I'd love to see a season 2. I really would. I'd love to see a season 2 out of this. Intriguing what social nuances and things we have with our society that they chat about, because this was good. I'd love to see them keep going, and it almost felt like a Black Mirror of social issues. Yeah, that's how I'll describe that. Black Mirror of social issues. All right, moving along to the movies that made us. Oh yeah. Season 3 dropped for the movies that made us. This one was its biggest season, 8 episodes. I got to watch them all. They're all, around an hour. Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, RoboCop, Aliens, Coming to America, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Elf. Now, if you look, excuse me, it says that Elf and Nightmare Before Christmas don't drop until December, but my Netflix had them. I got to watch them, and I did. These are all intriguing. These are all good. It's all behind the scenes stuff. If you've never seen movies that made us, they go behind the scenes and give you the making of these films, and they do it in a fun, very edited way. They're chatting about things, and then they'll edit in a quick pop culture clip. They make it jazzy. They make it high energy, and it helps keep your attention, especially during some things that like technical issues, i.e. RoboCop, when we're seeing some of the technical issues or technical makings of the film. If you're not deep into that, those things can get boring. Same thing with Aliens. We're figuring out the aliens. This is pre-CGI, how we're doing some special effects, blah, blah, blahs, things like that. But they make it fun watching it. I will say Coming to America might have been my favorite of the eps. Gave you some very interesting behind the scenes of how certain actors got booked, how Eddie Murphy got a hold of this project, how he was such a big star, but he still stayed humble through making this, and he wanted his buddies in on this, and how big of a movie this was for Black filmmakers and Black moviegoers. I mean, this was gigantic when this movie came out, and how many Black actors were in this. I think they were saying it broke the record for most Black actors in a mainstream film ever at that time. And so it was huge. Really enjoyed that episode. Nightmare Before Christmas was very intriguing. The animation style, the stop motion style, how they got a hold of it, how they started that. That stuff it's very technical based, but still very intriguing. Halloween, I actually kind of already knew a lot of stuff because it's my favorite, Halloween and Scream are my favorite scary movies. So Halloween being, I already knew a lot of the things, but still it told you about Nick Castle, how he got booked playing the Shape, and how they brought in other people, how they figured out the mask, and fun stuff like that. So things you guys might not know are all in the Halloween making. The Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, those are fine. Not phenomenal, but every ep in here is fine. RoboCop, it's fine. The Aliens ep, that's good, man. You're talking about the crew is all stressed out. The expectations of, you're getting a director that's pushing everyone. It's got to be better. We've got to go next level. First movie was great. We can't, go down. We have to be. It's a sequel. It needs to be a best sequel. Things like that. It was really good. The Aliens one is really good. So overall, you have 8 different episodes here that you guys can watch. They're all around an hour. The movies that made us. Folks, if you haven't watched the movies that made us seasons 1 or 2, when you're done doing these, jump back into those ones. The beauty of it is you can pick and choose. You can watch one from this season, Halloween from this season. You go back to last season, watch Back to the Future, back to 2 seasons ago, watch whatever you want and jump all around as you wish. Because this series is really well done. I always look forward to what they bring us available on the Netflix. You will not be disappointed, especially because you can jump around, pick and choose what movies that you guys want to watch. Okay, that's it. That is our reviews for now, folks. We are now going to take a quick breather and be right back. Okay, here we go. Thank you very much. Knocked all of those out. Not too bad. Actually chatted a little longer than I thought I was going to, but hit us up on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then, of course, our phone number, 667-365-8253. That's 667-365-TAKE. Text or leave a voicemail today. Let's get cozy, shall we? Let's get right onto the old casting couch. Rachel Brosnahan, phenomenal actress. Millicent Simmons, great actress, have been cast to play Anne Sullivan and Helen Keller in Helen and the Teacher. Fun fact, Millicent Simmons, a distant cousin of Helen Keller. That's crazy. I don't know why that's crazy. Either way. She's also going to be the first actress who actually is deaf to now play Helen Keller, which kind of makes sense. But she's a great actress from what we've seen her in with The Quiet Places and what have you. Brosnahan, of course, we know from Marvelous Miss Maisel, amongst other things, who will be playing her teacher, Anne Sullivan, in a film coming soon. I'm all in on that. Broadway, March 29th, Macbeth will be on Broadway, starring Ruth Negga and Daniel Craig. What's he doing after Bond? Now we know what he's doing after Bond. He's jumping onto Broadway. Technically, he's in Knives Out too. That's filmed in between. But either way, he will be on Broadway in March. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Daniel Craig and Macbeth. Maybe. We'll see how things are going in March. The Continental. This is that John Wick prequel series that focuses on the hotel of assassins, like the hotel where all the assassins are made. It is going to be a 3-night miniseries, special event. And they have their lead, Mr. Mel Gibson. Racist Mel Gibson's. Mr. Mel Gibson. It's going to be on Starz. I'm intrigued. I'm guessing he's going to play like the head guy who's then like hiring and training the assassins, maybe. Either way, I'm in. I think Gibson has almost come back around to he's in the good graces of the Hollywood community. It's tough because, you still made your comments back in the day. But I think maybe we can get back to really looking forward to Gibson projects. Has he done his penance? Said, not getting nominated for the War movie, that probably was a big blow. But I mean, if anyone's seen Fat Man, you'll be back on the Gibson train for sure. That's a fantastic holiday film. Holidays are coming. Hey, okay. Jack Ryan, season 4, Abby Cornish is back. And of those of you out there thinking, did I miss season 3? You didn't. It's not done yet. They're still filming and quickly wrapping season 3 of Jack Ryan. This is the John Krasinski series. That'll be out later on 2022. But now we found out that Abby Cornish, the character from season 1, who was completely ignored in season 2, didn't even mention the lady's name. Probably because she was the worst part of season 1. Not her as an actress, the character. She's coming back. The character's coming back. Season 4. Are they going to do one of those things where, like, now she's a bad guy? Like, he ditched her, so she decided to go and train and become an assassin, and now he has to kill her before she gets a weapon of mass destruction? Like, pump the James Bond brakes a little bit, if you will. Like, just bring her back as a love interest, but give her a little more depth to the character. But we shall see. And maybe they'll even reference it towards the end of season 3 here coming up. You know, I believe it releases shortly in 2022. Maybe they'll reference it in some cool way. White Lotus, we know we're getting a season 2. We know it's going to be at a different resort, if you will. But now we know that we're getting one character back from season 1, and that's Jennifer Coolidge. She'll be reprising her role and coming back for season 2. That could be fun. I'll be honest. Her character wasn't needed in season 1. I love Jennifer Coolidge. She does a fine job of acting in that and all things she does. Her character was, it was fine. So maybe it'll be better in this round. Intriguing, though, because the reason she was at that resort was to spread her mother's ashes. We don't need to do that now. So now what? Maybe her dad dies. There you go. Lastly, The Burial. This is a true story, based on a true story about one funeral director who sues another funeral director because they had a handshake agreement about funerals. And the one guy went back on it. So he hires a very flamboyant lawyer to come and hear the case and help things out or whatever. And it was a true story. Harrison Ford was attached to this with Jamie Foxx. Harrison Ford has dropped out due to scheduling concerns, and Tommy Lee Jones has replaced him. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. Fun fact, that line is not in that movie. What movie is that we're talking about? Text right now, 667-365-8253. What movie is that line ad-libbed in by Tommy Lee Jones? But he's replacing Harrison Ford in The Burial. It's a movie that's coming out later on next year. Sounds funny. I guess Jamie Foxx is playing the flamboyant lawyer in that, or maybe he's the other funeral person. So Tommy Lee Jones versus Jamie Foxx, and then they'll get somebody else to play the lawyer. Not sure. All right, that's it for the casting couch. Now time for a little trailer talk. Quick trailer talk, only 2 that we're going to talk about because all the DC trailers to drop we're going to talk about during DC discussion. But Home Sweet Alone. This is your rebooted Home Alone film coming to Disney Plus November 12th. I will not watch this. I was trying to do a November into no, and it did not work. It looked really bad. Like over the top, old school Saturday afternoon Disney movie, cheesy. Like, oh, why did you do this? Funny, I say that because they asked Chris Columbus about it, and he said, nobody asked me about this. Nobody asked for my blessing. Why would you make this? You shouldn't be rebooting films that hold up to this day as well as Home Alone and Home Alone 2 do. He's absolutely right. And I know he's biased on that because this was his baby, but Home Alone and Home Alone 2 hold up phenomenally. There's an argument out there that Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone 1. Gasp. We'll talk about that during the holiday season. Maybe we can start a big fight. I would love to get into that. Anyway. They hold, right? Some of these remakes, reboots that we're getting are of films that were great in their day, but people still don't watch them so we can get away with it. Every Christmas, I watch both of these films more than once. All of you listening probably do too. The Home Alones are fine. You don't have to touch them, and that's what Chris Columbus said. Watch this trailer. It does not look great. It does not look great in any capacity. I haven't showed it to my kids yet. And I don't know if they're going to be all wanting to watch it or not. They probably, my son who's 4 might be down because it would be cheesy. He'll see like the Micro Machines. Oh my God. If they bring back Micro Machines though, I might watch it just for the Micro Machines. Only if we can get the fast talking guy who was also on Saved by the Bell, the speedy talker guy. Anyway, it looks bad. November 12th, Disney Plus. That's at best. I don't think I'll be watching it. Let me know on the side if you guys are. The one that I will 100% watch is Scream. AKA Scream 5. This comes out January 14th, 2022. We got the trailer. I believe I predicted that we were going to get this trailer last week. Sometimes I'm smart. Sometimes I'm not. Most times I'm not. But we knew it was the anniversary. They were doing a whole Blu-ray thing for the first film last week, a whole big marketing push. So had a feeling we were going to get a trailer, and we did. It looks cool. It looks like, part of me thinks that we might see Neve Campbell die in the first opening scene. She gets the Drew Barrymore treatment where she's the first death. Maybe. They did show like 3 scenes of her, one with Courtney Cox, Dewey calls, etc. Dewey's also known as David Arquette's his real name. And then we're moving on to another more kids, more younger folk. So I think it'll be good that it's not the family aspect like in Scream 4, like move this along to different folks, but why is Ghostface now killing these people? Whatever. I didn't need a trailer. I was going to see this. The trailer looked great. It looked like Scream. Ghostface is going to kill people. Who's the killer going to be? Why is the killer after these people? Does the killer do Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette survive? Those are my questions. That's it. Scream 5, January 14th. I will tell you this, folks. Leading into that film, I will be doing a deep dive into the Scream series, breaking all 4 films down as a bonus episode leading up to it. Why? Because I absolutely adore the Scream series. That's why. Do I wish it was out right now in October? Yeah. I think it was bad marketing. Why I put that out in January? But understand why, because you have Halloween Kills that just dropped. So, I don't know. Don't compete against another scary. Whatever. All right. That's it for your trailer talk. That's it for the second act of the show. We're going to take another little breather and be right back. Ratings and reviews would be absolutely lovely. 5 stars especially, please. Don't mind. I would love to hear from some of you guys. Would also love to hear from you guys on socials. You can tweet the show at Take2Podcast. Take2Podcast at gmail.com. That's our email if you want to go old school. If you want to go even older school, Facebook. We have that Facebook page for those of you who are over 40 years old and you still have Facebook. And then we have the group page. That's the fun page. Take2 Universe. Join that today. News time. Hollywood news. Michael Caine retired. Or did he? Big announcement. Michael Caine has retired from acting. He's all done. 80 plus years old. God bless him. He's had a phenomenal career. And then he or his team put out a tweet saying, no, I didn't. I'm good. I'm still here. I'm not retired. Or I am retired. I don't know. So maybe Michael Caine's retired? We'll see. Michael Caine. Who is taking a sabbatical is Ryan Reynolds. And this is confirmed. He just wrapped up filming a film. He's got a couple of things coming out. Free Guy, obviously. People want Free Guy 2. People want Deadpool 3. And he has the Netflix movie with Gal Gadot and The Rock coming out soon, next month to Netflix. But he just wrapped another project that he's filming. He was like, guys, I'm just going to pump the brakes for a minute, take a little time off, spend some time with the fam. Not retiring, taking a sabbatical were his words. So, okay. I think that's only a bummer for those of us who want Free Guy 2 or Deadpool 3 to hustle it up. I'm not one of them. So I want other Ryan Reynolds projects. So I'm okay not getting Deadpool 3 or Free Guy 2 anytime soon, if ever, to be honest with you. Now, Deadpool being involved in the MCU, that's something totally different. The Witcher Season 2, we got our release date, December 17th. So for you Witcher fans out there and the realm of Take-Two, there you go. We'll be talking about The Witcher in December. Mandalorian Season 3 has begun filming. Woo, let's go. Film it up, baby. Can't wait for that to happen. M. Night Shyamalan dropped a teaser on his social media. It was nothing more than just blank space and then 2, 3, 23. What's coming out February 3rd, 2023? Anybody? Anybody know what's going on there? 2/3/23. I'm assuming that's M. Night Shyamalan's next film. Coming out 2/3/23. Saved by the Bell Season 2 of the new boot. Not the new class. You can't say that. I always keep saying Saved by the new class. That's not it because we had that. But the new Saved by the Bell coming to Peacock 11/24. A little intrigued how they deal with COVID because last season ended with them referencing COVID. So I'm kind of curious how they're going to talk about it or deal with it now. Like, are they going to be virtual from Bayside or are they going to ignore it? Just curious how they talk about that. And lastly, in the news, William Shatner actually went into space. Good for him. I saw a lot of people hated this. They're so against it. So bad that an actor or rich people can now go into space. I'm mad too. I want to go into space. I've always wanted to be the first person to hit a baseball off of the moon. But I'm just not as rich as William Shatner or these other folks that are just going into space. But William Shatner got to go into space. Pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Good for him. All right, done with the Hollywood news. Now we're about to get into our heaviest topic of the day, and that is DC discussion. Fandome. DC Fandome was on Saturday. It was a big to-do. We didn't really get any surprises. We just got what we knew was coming, and then we got to see what it was. We got to see the Flash trailer. We got to see the Batman's new and probably final trailer. We got to see footage of Shazam and Black Adam, right? We knew we were getting these things, or 90% knew, if you will. Nothing no surprises, right? We didn't get like a Green Lantern casting. Like, oh my God, they filmed a Green Lantern movie. Like, that didn't happen. Bummer. Couple little things. We got some concept art of Jamie Reyes as the Blue Beetle. Looks awesome. Looks badass. If you guys aren't intrigued at the very least for that, there you go. That should help you out. Peacemaker series. We got a little teaser for that. That we got a release date for January 13th, HBO Max. We got confirmation, which we already knew about, but they just wanted to extra confirm that Sweet Tooth Season 2 is happening. Neat. We already knew that. Super Pets, May 20th, 2022. We got the release date there and a little snippet of that. Aquaman Part 2, 12/16/22. We're getting, next year is loaded with DC projects, folks, because also you have March, Batman, July, Black Adam, The Flash in November, and then Shazam 2 just following in June of 2023. Like, absolutely loaded. On top of also Aquaman is December of next year. So you're getting 5 big projects from DC next year. So if you're thinking all these restore the Snyderverse, folks, you want it all restored, I don't know about that. You've just got these projects happening. DC is moving forward with all these projects. And to be honest, let's go. Let's go. Get them going. All right, to talk about them a little bit. 1, The Flash wrapped up its filming. The producer and director teased Henry Cavill. Was like, oh, you've seen nothing yet. We could get something super down the road. Kiss my butt, dude. Why you got to do that to me? Why? Anyway, talking about The Flash, we saw the snippet trailer. Ezra Miller jumped on there. Man, did he look like scruffy. It's like, buddy, why do you look so scruffy? Either way, like, you couldn't shave for this video. You knew you were going to be on video. Either way, he looked like a scruff ball. Either way, he says, this got delayed, that got delayed. Here's what we can show you. We can't really show you a lot. And then shows a fully edited trailer together. I don't know. It was kind of weird the way he introed into that. Either way, November 4th, 2022, we find out The Flash. And the whole thing is Michael Keaton narrating as Batman, asking questions. Not really narrating, but the voiceover of him talking to The Flash. Why would you go on this timeline? Of all the timelines, past, future, whatever, why would you be here? And as we see it, we see The Flash going up to see his mom. Boom. This changes things. Very Flashpoint. Folks, if you haven't read Flashpoint comic, 1, I have the graphic novel. You're welcome to borrow it. 2, go buy it for yourself. It's fantastic. That's the road we're going to go down. And then we obviously we get a lot of Keaton Batman-esque here. He's at Wayne Manor. At the end, he's like ripping off the cover, which is obviously the Batmobile underneath. And then we get the shot of the Batcave with the back of Keaton's cowl, obviously. That's it. That's the only tease that we're going to get. We'll obviously get a trailer down the road. They just wrapped filming, so now we got to go into post, and we'll get some more good stuff out of it. The one part, he's looking up, and the camera pans past an arm or a leg that looks very thin but also looks blue. Is he looking at Supergirl? We do know that Sasha Calle is going to be in this as Supergirl. So is he looking at Supergirl? Or is this in Flashpoint where Superman is captured by scientists and he never develops his powers? So do we see him looking at like this scrawny alien that's not Superman at that time? I'm guessing it's Supergirl because it's blue. She has a blue shirt on. So maybe this is our introduction. We're going to get Supergirl in this. So this is your introduction there. It looks good. It looks good. The Flash looks good. I'm in on it. I guess I'm more in on the ending. I'm more in on what cameos are we going to get. We're going to get Batfleck. We're going to get Keaton. What Supermans are we going to get? Are we going to get Green Lanterns, Green Arrows, Black Canaries? What universes, how many of them are we going to play in here with him jumping timelines? Are they going to be quick? Bing, bing, bing. Oh, look, there's, Grant Gustin from the TV show. Oh, bing, here's this to that. Or I think I'm more so just in on seeing all those. How does this advance the storyline? And then how does it end? Does it end with, well, now we've all put the multiverse all together. Now we're on to one where it's at Earth 1. Or does this end in chaos? Ended in chaos. Ended in crazy chaos where Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa show up fighting each other in a war over Europe, a la the book. I would love to see that. Lead me into a Flash Part 2, where he now needs to try and save the day with Reverse Flash and all that kind of stuff. Who knows? Whatever. Spoiler alert for those who haven't read the book. We also saw a quick trailer for Black Adam. Don't see much here. You never see The Rock. He's obviously got this hooded thing on. He comes. Army men shoot at him. He catches a bullet. The thing here is the scene looked exactly like Henry Cavill catching a bullet in Man of Steel. And so people are like, what? That's crazy. So then people even tweeted The Rock saying, it looks like the only person that could defeat Black Adam would be Superman, not even Shazam, which is obvious because Superman's stronger than Shazam. So then The Rock wrote back. He was like, we all know that Superman, his biggest weakness isn't kryptonite. It's actually magic. And Black Adam comes from magic. So could he even kill Black Adam? ... Alluding to maybe now you'll see him fight Superman, which would be insane. Fun fact, that's not true. Kryptonite does beat Superman more than magic. Magic does have an effect on Superman, though. Either way. Black Adam, July 2022. We're getting that. Shazam, we got a quick little teaser. June 2nd, 2023. And what's his name? Zachary Levi just jumped on there. He said it's going to be crazy. We're dealing with parademons. We're dealing with alternate universe type stuff. We're dealing with alternate dimensions, all that kind of jazz. So it looks like it's just going to be wild. Magical, mystical things. And then at some point, hopefully he and Black Adam come together on either of their films, which would be great because that's in June of 2023. So obviously we'll get something from Black Adam first, teasing into Shazam, and then almost a year later in June, then we get the Shazam stuff. Lastly, right? Not lastly. Let me come back to that. Batgirl, we have a casting. Jacob Scipio is going to be in the Batgirl. We already know J.K. Simmons is in there. We already know Leslie Grace is in there. So that's booked. That's confirmed. That's going to start filming soon. Now, lastly, is the Batman. It looks insane. Okay. It looks insane. It looks Christopher Nolan ideology-esque, right? Nolan said, I'm going to make Batman real and gritty and dark. And it looks like they said, guess what? Hold my beer. We're going to make him really gritty. We're going to make him really dark. Because now, here's what they're allowed to do with this film. We can make it rated R if we want to. I don't know if we've gotten confirmation on that rating yet. Whereas Nolan was bound to a PG-13, obviously. So it's going to be insane. It's going to be next level Batman. I'm curious, Pattinson, and I've been defending Pattinson as an actor on this show since day one. If you don't think he can act because he was in Twilight, you don't know what you're talking about. He's a phenomenal actor. The scene of him banging the glass, arguing with some villain, looked campy. The shot of him as Bruce Wayne, he looked emo. Looks kind of like emotional, right? I don't know if I'm buying that yet. This is off of a trailer, folks. I'm being an over-analytical person off of the trailer. I'm in. I can't wait to see it. Do we have too much Batman in our lives right now? Yeah. Way too much. But I'm very intrigued to see where they go. I really want to watch this film. It looks like they spared no detail paying attention to what we're going to do with this project. Him as a badass, as real as you can make Batman in the real world type scenario. And that's what we're about to get. And I think they took a complete multiple pages out of Chris Nolan's ideas for what you can do with Batman and said, let's roll. Let's make it even darker, even grittier. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be fantastic. I now have hesitations with Pattinson playing this role. I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope he's the best Batman we've ever gotten. I'll say that with every casting going forward because I just want things to get better. So we'll see. Colin Farrell as the Penguin. The only thing that it gives me, not pause, but is weird is you could have gotten someone who looks like that to play that. There's actors who look like that you could have just cast that. Instead of makeuping Colin Farrell and making him look that way, you could have just gone that way. But Farrell's a great actor, and I'm sure he's going to kill it. And it's a very intriguing aspect that they're going with the role. March 4th. This is our next big thing from DC. This is going to be great. I can't wait for March 4th. I will be there opening night. I can't wait to watch this. And I'm very intrigued to see what they do and where they go with this. A lot of red coloring with the cinematography. Very, very, looks like a lot of fun. I think I'm just going a little hesitant, all right, I'm in, I'm 100% in. I'm very pumped. Want to see where this goes. I'm worried. I guess I'm worried about Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. That's not something that I should ever worry about, but I am. This is the world that we live in. That's going to wrap up the DC Fandome. If there's anything else in DC Fandome you guys saw that I'm not chatting about now and you want to discuss, hit me up, man. Hit up the Twitters and slide into my DMs if you know what I mean. Marvel Minute time. Will Poulter has been cast as Adam Warlock. Okay. Interesting. Nothing against his acting abilities. I'm sure he'll do a fine job. I just feel maybe he needs to hit the weight room. Maybe. Once or twice. That's it. This was a rumored casting from a couple of weeks ago that wound up coming true. Mentioned John Berthel earlier. He has been stoking that Punisher flame. Says it's happening, baby. You will see the Punisher in the MCU. I hope so, John. I agree. Into the Spider-Verse, we know is coming in 2022. A little tease there. We got a little Spider-Verse tease for the sequel, the second one. For 2022. I'm intrigued on that one. I actually thought it wasn't coming until later, but we got a tease. More teasing that we got with Spider-Man is that no more Tom Holland. What? Tom Holland came out and said that after No Way Home, that ends the trilogy of the Home Spider-Man series. Okay, Homecoming, Far From Home, and then No Way Home. So that's a trilogy of films, and he says, yeah, that version of the character, that's going to be all done. So then Spider-Man's all done. And people lost their ever-loving minds. Folks, he's going to be in Doctor Strange Madness. He's going to be in Avengers 5. I think we should pump the brakes in thinking that Tom Holland is done playing Spider-Man forever. I honestly do. B, his efforts outside of Spider-Man have not been the most received well. I've enjoyed his attempts at acting in different films, but they just haven't been great. So I don't think he should hold on to Spider-Man as long as he can, but I don't think he should be in a rush to get rid of it, and he's not. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. I will go out on a limb and say that. Now, Disney moved a lot of stuff. This is crazy. While we're dropping all of these big films, Eternals comes out in November. Spider-Man comes out in December. After that, they pushed everything back. Starting Doctor Strange, supposed to be March, now it's in May. Thor Love and Thunder, supposed to be May, moves it to July. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, supposed to be July, now moves to November. So they've pushed everything 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, each one just a couple of months back. The Marvels, supposed to be November, now pushed to February 2023. Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania, February, now pushed 5 months to July of 23. And then a bunch of their Untitled Marvel projects also are getting moved or removed, but we don't know their names there. So in there, Fantastic Four, Avengers 5, Captain America, the next Captain America with Anthony Mackie, all those now getting pushed. Forgive me, folks, in all of that, I forgot to mention back in the news section that Indiana Jones Part 5 also got pushed almost a year. Pushed that from July of 2022 to June of 23, June 30th. So almost legit a full year for Indy 5. I guess they literally want Harrison Ford to be dead by the time this thing releases. I mean, the guy ain't getting any younger. But back to Marvel. They want their money. I think that the writing is on the wall. I think they see the pandemic is ending. We're coming out of it, hopefully soon. The winter's probably not going to help that, but we're coming out. So I think they said, you know what? If we can just a little further, push 2 months here, 2 months on Doctor Strange, right? Yeah, 3 months on Thor, 4 months on Black Panther. Push these things back, make sure we're nice and clean, ready to go. Filming, everything got delayed. So I think they're just give us a little bit of time here. Then we can start making our money. So this means Doctor Strange now won't drop until May. Funny that they go May 6th and they don't go Memorial Day weekend. Either way, which is only 2 more weeks later. Either way, you're now going to get Spider-Man December, and then you got to wait until May for Doctor Strange. That's fine. It just seems that they're like, let's just push a little bit just so we can get this cash. Just so we can get the bigger opening weekend so that more people go to the theater. That wraps up the Marvel Minutes. Time to go forward. Going forward, in theaters this week, you've got The French Dispatch. I hope to try and get to that. I'm most likely going to get to see that. I want to. I 100% will be seeing Dune. Here's the thing with Dune with me, folks. I have not read the book. I have not seen either of the movies that came out in 84 or 2000, whatever. I know nothing about this. I know it's a sci-fi. I know nothing about this project. So for those of you out there who are hardcore Dune folks, be ready for my review next week to be very fresh, very unknowing the storyline, and I don't want to know the storyline. So anyone that texts on the side says, hey, this is what Dune's about, I'm going to ignore your text until Friday I'm seeing the movie. So until like Saturday, I ain't texting back till then. Text me, please, but about other stuff. Dune, French Dispatch, those are your big theatrical releases. Titan Season 3 wraps up. I will have a full review of Season 3. Spoiler, it has been phenomenal. Can't wait to chat about that next week on episode 263. Netflix, a couple of releases out there. In for a Murder comes out. Season 2, Lock and Key comes out. And 19th, which doesn't come out on the 19th this week. That is so dumb to me. 19th on the 19th. Would have been perfect, but they didn't do that. That is your Debbie Ryan is a vampire. Looks good. Looks fun. And that might be my new horror movie. I'll be honest, after I watch that on Wednesday, I believe it drops. Because today is the 19th as I'm recording and as you're hearing this probably. So if that's not scary enough or horror-y enough, I'll do another one to check off our Halloween spooky season, watching a new horror film or horror series, something new to me that I haven't seen before, and then chatting about that later. Also, lastly, on there is Baltimore Con is this weekend. So all of you folks in the area, you guys know I'm a Marylander. This show is based out of DC. I will be at Baltimore Con. Saturday, yes. Friday, probably. Sunday, doubtful. But if you guys are going in any capacity, please shoot the text 667-365-8253 or email on or tag, whatever on the socials. Hit me up and let me know if you are going, and maybe we can meet up, hang out, take some pics, fun stuff like that. Jump onto socials. That would be a good time. But I will be at Baltimore Con a little bit, maybe each day or a lot of it on Saturday, just afternoon. Catching up with some old friends, hanging out at an old convention. I know Baltimore Con doesn't have like a lot of celebs in this one. So it's like that older convention style where people actually go just to buy comics, which I'm all about. This is going to be a good time. So that is going to wrap up episode 262. Once again, guys, a rating and review would be fantastic. I would love to hear from you there. And then all across all the board on the socials, I've been plugging the hell out of them in this episode. So I feel not bad about that. Not even one bit. My name is Brian. I am your host here at Take Two Podcast. Have a great night, everybody.